Hey guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be taking a look at a pretty interesting new headlamp that I received for review purposes. This is from a company called Brinyte, and this is the HC01 Noctua. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And this is a 3 lighting source headlamp. Now this lamp has a lot of really interesting features when I started looking at it and things like that. And that is part of the reason why when they reached out and asked me if I would be interested in checking out, I said yes. Because again, I wanted to see those features for myself. So this is the packaging that you get. Now, if you guys are interested in this particular headlamp, I will leave a link below where you can go ahead and pick that up. There's also a discount code if you guys are interested in picking it up that you can use. I'll go ahead and place that at the bottom of the video here. So let's go ahead and open up the box here. Let's just get a little knife here and cut this tape, so we can see what all is inside. Again, this is the HC01 Noctua. So right in the middle there, you do have the headlamp. So we'll take that out. Let's see if we get it out here. There we go. Set it off to the side, and then we'll see if there's anything underneath the packaging here. And yeah, there are a couple of things. So the good thing is this headlamp is USB-C rechargeable, so they do include your USB-C cable here. So this is USB-C to USB. You also have your user manual here. Set that off to the side as well. You do get a warranty card, so that's pretty nice. And then you have a, it's like a little pamphlet here with some of the other models from Brinyte. They do have quite a few different lights and flashlights and things like that. So again, if you guys are interested, go ahead and use that link. And then you can see some of the other models that they do have available. So we'll go ahead and put that all back into the box here. And we'll take a look at the headlamp itself. Well, actually, before we do that, let's take a look at the user manual here. Now, I always recommend with anything electronic, especially flashlights, because some of the flashlights do have different modes and things like that, that you always check out the user manual. So if you guys are interested in seeing some of these specs, here it is. You guys can pause the video there. But it does tell you that the turbo or max output is 1000 lumens. So that is really, really cool. You do get some picture diagrams here of the different buttons and things like that. And then in the back here, it does tell you that even though you do have a rechargeable battery on this, you can actually remove the rechargeable battery and use AAAs. So in a pinch, if you were not able to go ahead and recharge the light, you can go ahead and take out the rechargeable battery and replace that with 3 AAA batteries. So that is really cool because again, it does give you different options. So I am going to leave this open over here to the side so I can reference it, you know, when we're talking about the different outputs. But again, here is the light itself. You do have some little plastic pieces here which you remove. It says press them together to unlock. So there's 2 buttons right here. Success after blinking. So again, it is locked for shipping purposes, so it doesn't turn on and stuff like that. So we'll take that plastic off, and then we'll take this plastic off as well. And before I get into unlocking it, let's go ahead and take a look at the light itself. So pretty interesting construction. Okay, so down here you do have your USB port there, which is covered here with this little plastic thing there. Okay, there it is. So that is where you would connect it to go ahead and recharge it. Now, this does say that you have 360-degree swivel on here. So if you see, you have these 2 plastic arms that the light itself is attached to, and then this does rotate. Okay, so you have audible clicks there. That's good. I like that because that way you can go ahead and you know, set it at a particular angle if you wanted to. So if you're wearing this and you want to shine it out kind of further in front of you, you can do that. If you want it to shine a little bit further in, you can do that, or vice versa if you wanted to shine it straight up, which I do like that, especially with headlamps, because it gives you the ability to, let's say if you're inside a room or something like that and you want to, you know, bounce the light off of the ceiling, you can go ahead and point the light straight up, and then it'll bounce that light off the ceiling and kind of light up a whole area, which is really nice. Now, one thing I can tell you is that this is a pretty thick housing here, or the case of the flashlight itself. So it is going to stick out quite a bit in front of you. So you know, that's just something that I did want to note, because it is pretty thick there. And then again, you do have that section in the back here where you can go ahead and remove this door and remove the rechargeable battery, and then replace that with the 3 AAAs. So taking a look at the business end, the front of it right here, you do have 3 different LEDs. So you have this larger one right here, which is going to be your kind of more throw, you know, the light that's going to be reaching out further there. Then you have this small little LED here, which is going to be more of your flood. So if you wanted, you know, a spill, a closer area, but just wider. And then you have this third LED here, which is a red LED. So that's going to allow you to preserve like your night vision. You're going to be able to, you know, like some maps you can read at night and stuff like that, so you'll be able to use that as well. Now on the side here, I don't know if you guys can make it out, but there's actually 4 little slots here, and those are 4 individual LEDs, and that's going to give you your battery power. So that's really cool, because at a glance you can go ahead and take a look how much battery you have. Now the only drawback is that if you're wearing this on your head, you're obviously not going to be able to see that. So what you would have to do is, if you just want to check to see how much battery you have, is turn on the light, see how many LEDs there are, and then put it on. So that's one thing to note. Now you do have your strap right here. It is actually all coiled up, and this is one of the features that I wanted to take a look at for myself, because I hadn't seen this in any other headlamps, and that is you have this knob which actually allows you to tighten the strap right here. So I think if I pull on this, it'll loosen up. Yes, so as I'm pulling on it, it is loosening up. So that way you can go ahead and put it on. But you can also, let me see if you can use the knob to unscrew it. No, so you would have to actually pull on it. There you go. Oh, I guess it was stiff from packaging. So this is pretty much, you know, as wide as you would go. But what I do like is also that the strap itself does kind of feed itself through this portion right here, which makes it a lot more comfortable to actually have this section in the very back, as opposed to it being kind of stuck on the side or something like that. But what's really cool is that, again, you do have this knob right here. So if you wanted to go ahead and tighten the strap, you can go ahead and tighten the knob, and there is actually clicks. I don't know if you guys can hear that. See, there's like little clicks as they go, and that is basically cinching down the strap. So when I was looking at this, I actually had 2 purposes for that. Obviously, the main purpose is to go ahead and tighten this so you can get a good fit around your head. So you can go ahead and put this around your head and then tighten it down to where you want it to be, and it's pretty much going to stay there. But if you are, you know, carrying this in a pack or something like that, a lot of times, you know, the straps, you just kind of have to you know, wind them around the light or something like that. With this, you can go ahead and cinch that strap all the way down, and it still keeps a nice, really small-ish form factor. You don't have the strap kind of, you know, dangling around and stuff like that. And then when you need it, you just go ahead and pull on it. All right, there you go. And now you can go ahead and put it around your head. But it is wide enough this way where it could fit around a hat or a helmet or something like that. And then the strap itself does have like perforated holes right there, which is nice. So if you do have it around your head, there is going to be some sort of, you know, you'll have some air kind of flowing through it. So, you know, it won't be as uncomfortable, or it won't create like a sweaty spot around your head or something like that. So let's go ahead and cinch that strap down again, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the way that this works. So again, as that little paper mentioned, it is locked, so you press both of these to unlock it. So we'll go ahead and do that now. We'll press them both. And then there it is. So it was blinking, as you guys saw. So that means it should be on lock now, which is pretty nice. Now, again, it does have 2 buttons at the top right here. And basically, the way I see it is the big button runs the big light. The smaller button runs the 2 smaller lights. Is pretty much the easiest way to think about it. So if you were to press it once, the light will come on, and as you guys can see here in my hand, this is actually the lowest mode. So referencing back to our guide here, it does say that our lowest mode is going to be 10 lumens. So again, this is pretty good to just kind of do something like maybe inside of a tent or something like that. And then it is going to give you the longest runtime, which is 2,700 minutes. All right. So if you were to press it again, it would, turn off. Again, pressing it on, it would turn it back on. So just click on, click off. But if you press and hold, that'll cycle up to the next mode, which is 105 lumens. Press and hold, it'll go to the next one, which is 450 lumens. And then press and hold again, it'll go up to your turbo, which is 1000 lumens. And that's actually good for 85 minutes. So again, you have quite a long runtime at that highest output there, which is really nice. And then if you were to press it once, it'll turn it back off. Now, the great thing about this is you also have a memory. So if I were to, turn it back on, it is actually going to come on in the last mode that I left it on. So again, I was using the turbo mode. It came back on turbo. So if I press and hold, it'll go back down to the lowest mode right there. And then press it again and it'll turn off. Now, you do have a couple of other modes. So what some people call hidden modes, and that is, again, pressing that big button to activate the big one there, which is the throw light. If you press it 3 times, it's going to go into strobe. And then if you press it 3 times again, it'll go into SOS. And then if you press it, it'll turn off. All right, so again, single click will turn the light on, single click will turn it off, triple click will take you into that strobe and SOS modes, and then just pressing it again, it'll turn it off of that. So again, that is the big button running the big light here, which is the, again, the throw light. So now looking at the smaller lights here, you do have the smaller button, and then the big button is actually kind of like an oval shape, versus the smaller button is more of a round shape. So again, tactile, if you were to be feeling up there to make sure you're turning on the right one, it makes it a lot easier by doing that. Now, activating the other lights with the smaller button, if you press it once, it's going to come on, and as you guys can see, and I didn't show it in the other one, but as you guys can see right here, there is the 4 LEDs are on, so that's telling you that you have the maximum power. But right now is the red light that is on. So again, if I press it once, it'll turn it on. If I press it once, it'll turn it off. So again, if I turn it on again, that is your red light there. If I press and hold, it'll go to the higher output of the red light. So you have a low and a high, I guess you would call it in both of them. So right now it is on high. Press and hold, it'll go to low. All right. And then if I press it again, it'll turn off. Now, if I wanted to go ahead and switch it from the red light to the white light, I believe that is, if I turn it on and I press twice, it'll turn it to the white light, as you guys can see right there. So now it is using this white light in the middle, which is more of a flood light, more of a spill, so lighting up a larger area, but more closer to me. And if I press and hold, it'll cycle through the other modes as well. So again, low and high. So it is on high right now, so if I press once and turn it off, it'll turn off, and then if I turn it on again, it'll retain the memory, so it'll go back into the last mode that I was using. Now, as with the larger button, if I press it 3 times, so twice is to cycle through red and white, as you can see there, all right? But if I press it 3 times, it's going to go into what they call a signal mode. So basically this is a blinking red light that's going to be able to be used to attract attention if something happens or something like that. It's just going to be blinking all the time, and that is pretty good because it gives you the ability to kind of signal for help or something like that if you want to be seen. And then again, if you press it 3 times again, it'll just turn off. All right, and then if I press it once, turn on. And then press it once again and turn off. So again, really versatile. You get a lot of different modes, a lot of different lights, a lot of different output. Let's see, this little door on the bottom here is not staying shut, so hopefully that's not something that will continue to turn on and off or come off. But again, very versatile light here with all the different modes. Very easy to use, very easy to remember, especially if you're just going to be using your regular modes. It's just once to turn it on, and then once to turn it off, and then press and hold to cycle through the modes. You can do that. Then cycle back down. Now, one other thing is if you did want to access the turbo mode right away from any whether it's off or on, if you double click it, it'll go right to turbo. So there it is. And then if I turn it off, it'll turn off, and then if I turn it on again, because I was using that last mode memory, so it will come back on in that turbo mode. So I'll go ahead and cycle it back down to the low mode. So really intuitive usage on this light here, the HC01 from Brinyte. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take the light outside, give you a couple of beam shots, and then come back to the desk for my final opinion. Alright guys, so I am in my backyard here. I am actually facing my fence here. I'm probably around 25 feet away from the fence. So I'll go ahead and give you a couple beam shots. We're going to start out with the larger light using the bigger button. If you guys remember, that is going to be more of the throw light. So let me go ahead and press it. Now I think I have it set up to come on the lowest mode. So there it is. So again, this is me kind of using my head to look around, but this is the lowest mode, and let me tell you, it's doing a pretty good job at throwing that light way out there so I can see what's up there. Again, if I press and hold, it'll cycle to the next mode, and this is already doing a really awesome job about lighting pretty much everything out there. So really nice. Press and hold. Next mode right here, I think this is the one that's in the 400 range. So really bright light out here, which is really nice. And then the last one here is going to be that 1000 lumen turbo output there. So again, this is giving us a lot of light. If I were to look up, I can actually shine it over at my neighbor's house, but very easily I can throw that light way out there and see if there's anything coming up. If I'm walking around, I can go ahead and point that light down as I'm doing now. Or point it up if I needed to. So really nice with that articulation, especially because it stops at different settings or at different angles. So wherever it is that I need it. So I'll go ahead and turn the light off. And we'll go ahead and use the other button to activate the other light. So I believe I had it set on the white light, which is going to be more the flood. So if I press it once, that flood is going to turn on. Again, it's not a lot of light right now, but it's doing a really good job at lighting, kind of like a larger area right in front of me right here. So again, it's not throwing that light out there, but it's lighting up everything right in front of me here. But that is the lower setting. So if I were to press and hold, it's going to go to the higher setting here. So again, a little bit more light, but as you guys can see my hand right here, I can see everything right in front of me. So if I'm walking around camp or something like that, this is going to be a good light to use to be able to see a lot of what's going on here. But again, I can easily switch, turn this off and then switch to the other one if I needed to throw that light way out there. So I'll go ahead and turn that one on. And if I turn on the white floodlight again, I just need to double click it to switch it to the red. So if I double click that, now it is red. So again, red here in front of me, it's doing a really good job. Again, this is going to be red, but it's going to be a flood red. And if I press and hold, it's going to go to the lower one. So again, this is my hand here. So the lower red would be for, again, map reading. If I were to, want to preserve my night vision or using it inside of a tent or something like that, so I don't bother other folks, I can go ahead and use that one. And then if I press and hold again, it'll go up to the higher red. So again, I can see a little bit more. It's more that flood throw on here, but I can see a little bit more around what is going on around me. And then again, if I were to press that button 3 times, 1, 2, 3, that's going to go into that SOS in the red. So here is that red SOS, which is, again, if I needed to signal somebody or something like that, I can go ahead and do that. And as you guys can see on a dark night, this is going to be very easy to pick up and be very easy to see. I'll go ahead and turn that off. And then last but not least, I have that SOS and, or first I have the strobe. So if I were to press the large button 3 times, 1, 2, 3, or turn it on, 1, 2, 3, and again, there it is. It's going to strobe. So again, really disorienting if I did have to do that. And then again, if I press it 3 more times, 1, 2, 3, that's going to go to that. Let me see, did I miss it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and again, there it is. That is SOS. So again, if I needed to do that to send an SOS signal or something like that, I can go ahead and do that. And because it's using that larger throw LED, it's going to be able to be seen further away. So really awesome features on this HC01 headlamp. It is very comfortable as I'm wearing it. I was able to put it on and then using that tightening knob, get it to the exact tightness that I needed around my head, and it's very, very comfortable thanks to that kind of breathable strap on the sides, and the elastic is doing a good job about keeping it in place. So let's go ahead and go back to the review table for my final thoughts. All right, so we are back at the review table, and I have to tell you, I was very impressed by this flashlight or by this headlamp. I think Brinyte did a really awesome job in packing a lot of features into this form factor here. Again, I mentioned that the light does stick out a little bit. I guess, it's understandable because it does have that feature where it rotates. So, you would have to have enough clearance for it to be able to do that. But it is very comfortable when I was wearing it. I know I had it on just because I was testing it, but I can easily see myself wearing this and not worrying too much about the weight. I did really enjoy this this feature here with the crank. I hadn't seen that before, and especially because it gives me the ability to kind of cinch it down, especially if I have it, kind of sitting in a pack and stuff like that. One thing that I would want to see an update on would be this door right here. As you guys can see, it is still kind of protruding a little bit. In just handling the light and stuff like that, it does come open, and I find myself having to try and close it back up. So that is something that I would want to see them improve on, because I think it's definitely something that I wouldn't want to have to be messing around with, especially if I don't want anything to get into that, because I want to go ahead and charge it. Speaking about charging, I did mention at the beginning of the video that you can remove the rechargeable battery. I remember that I didn't show you guys that, but there's a little latch right here. So basically all you do is you unlatch it right there, and the door opens. Here is the battery itself. So you just go ahead and remove it. And as you guys can see, here is the spot where the 3 AAA batteries will fit in, and it actually gives you the orientation as far as where they should go. So in a pinch, if you cannot recharge the rechargeable battery and you can get a hold of AA or AAAs, you can go ahead and use those. I believe the outputs would probably be a little bit more diminished, but again, if you just need lights for light's sake, that's good. All you have to do is replace the battery, so put it back in there, close the door, latch it shut, and you are good to go. Again, see, there it is. There's the light working. So I really do like that feature. So all in all, I think this is a really awesome headlamp. Again, the little bit of usage that I've given to it and testing it and stuff like that, I think it works out really well, especially if you want to have the option of having all those different outputs and without having to have a big clunky headlamp, or without having to have a headlamp and a flashlight and stuff like that. Just the mere fact that you do have the throw and the flood is awesome. So again, I'm going to leave the link below. If you guys are interested in picking this guy up, I would highly recommend that you do. And I have my coupon code, which is ISPY20. That'll give you 20% off the purchase of the flashlight or the headlamp here if you guys are interested in doing that. So there it is. So look at the HC01 Noctua headlamp from Brinyte. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.